Alright guys, so now we are back with another entry in our Community Cast series. In this match, we're going to have a showdown between Norsca, who's going to be led by Gundabad1, and the Beastmen, who are going to be led by Artemis Barca. So guys, we are here with the dreaded quad mammoth build. So you guys thought it was heavy metal to see 4 bloated corpses. Well, we're going to be seeing 4 mammoths here in this game. Looks like it's going to be 3 feral mammoths in total, and the last one is going to be Wolfric atop his mighty, I'm not sure what class of mammoth. I'm pretty sure it's like a war mammoth or just the armored variant. But anyways, 4 mammoths here for Norsca. The feral mammoths definitely going to be pretty spooky for the Beastmen infantry. Obviously, a lot of the Beastmen forces, let's see, they're Bestigors, and it looks like there's Ungors with spears. So even the Ungors with spears are going to struggle because typically mammoths have enough mass to just kind of move through and have their way with spear units if they're microed effectively. Granted, the silver lining for the Beastmen is the fact that these are indeed feral mammoths. Therefore, they're going to rampage and probably just sit still and let the spears potentially do some good work. Granted, I mean, they still might just run through things, but it is a little bit better that they are the feral variant. For the rest of the Norscan forces, it's going to be Marauders on the flanks, the entire front line. Obviously, if you're going to be going this balls deep into Mammoth play, you're pretty much just going to have chaff. It's going to be Marauders across the board. It looks like a couple Berserkers mixed in as well, so we have Marauder Berserkers here, and the same thing here on this side of the battlefield, and I think we have the Iceworm Marauders as well. As far as the caster goes, it's going to be a Shaman Sorcerer with the Lore of Fire. Lore of Fire, of course, Fireball, and the Cascading Fire Cloak. So Cascading Fire Cloak going to be helpful to compensate for the low melee defense on the Mammoths, and also triggers that sweet Kindle Flame if he so chooses. So that's pretty much it for the Norscan army. There's going to be a chariot as well, but very just, get in there and run things over with the big old tusks. A little bit of a battle or a Pelennor Fields action going on. And for the Beastmen, the throwing axes. So they have 2 groups of Centaurs, the throwing axes, which are by far going to be some of the best units they have against this particular build. They're going to be able to kite effectively. The Norscans don't really have any counter skirmishing tools per se. They just went all in on the mammoths. So these guys can sit and just kind of poke at these mammoths. And I'm not sure what's going on with the radius. Like when I get close to them, there's no effect, but you can see here there's like a little bit of sparkly effect, some like twilight sparkles going on in those mammoths over there. Anyways, but Centaur's the throwing axe is going to be quite good against this build. He's got some poison hounds as well, which if he is able to break the low leadership of a feral mammoth, he could potentially chase it off the battlefield using Chaos Warhounds with poison. And the front line's all Bestigors, so it looks like he was really expecting like some heavy metal Norskins, maybe some champions and Famir, just bringing the armor-piercing Bestigors. Granted, Bestigors aren't great against Famir, but he has answers for Famir with the throwing axes, but he probably needs a couple more of these guys. But yeah, Bestigors, just heavy infantry across the front line. On top of that, he does have more of the Shadowglaive. Chaos Bond will give him some extra mass and high DPS, and Chaos Bond actually probably wouldn't be terrible against Mammoths. I mean, they don't have really good armor, and Chaos Bond hit hard against light armor and have good mass. A Brave Shaman with Lore of Wild will be summoning Cygor, some spears in the back, and that is pretty much it. So guys, let's get this show on the road and have some fun. So some light skirmishing going on so far. Centaur's the throwing axe is just kind of circling, but Gundabad here, the Norscan player, doing a pretty good job screening with the Marauders. So just kind of detaching these guys. And obviously Centaurs don't want to be fighting Marauders and melee. Marauders actually really don't have bad stats, 35 and 29 and 28. But the Centaurs, of course, quite a bit faster, going to be swerving up and around, doing some Tokyo drift around the edges of these Marauders. Probably going to be trying to focus down the feral mammoths before they can get to the front line, or at least this one. Because even if they used all their ammo, they might kill one mammoth and maybe get the other one a little bit down a little bit, but yeah, certainly not enough to finish off all these mammoths. So it looks like the Firecaster is going to be strafing, maybe preparing another Fireball. You guys saw earlier, this group right here actually lost 7 models when they got hit by a Fireball, and it looks like he's going to be using some magic, but also taking a bunch of axes to the face, which I'm sure is fun. And it is going to be a straight shot. It's definitely better if it goes down the pipe, but he didn't really have a choice there. It still does kill 5 models, which, though it's not a ton of HP damage, it certainly does lower their combat effectiveness. So the axe is going in, Shaman Sorcerer has taken some damage, and in the back this Mammoth is kind of taking a little bit of poke, but it's going to take some work for him to Rampage. I forget what the actual qualifier is for Rampage, but it looks like, does it tell me? No, it doesn't actually say the threshold, but I'm sure, I think it's when their leadership gets like around 50%, give or take. So Norscan forces still advancing, a little bit of light skirmishing going on for the Beastmen. We'll do some fast forwarding as there's some posturing. But something back here, the Firecaster gets a little bit crunk. He gets close. He's trying to chase these guys off, but he does take a lot of axes to the face. And if he does want to fight in melee, I mean, these Centaurs will actually do a lot of damage to him. So it could be a little bit of a disaster if he does leave it back there and get surrounded. Some of the chariots in the meantime are attacked by the Chaos Poison Warhounds of the Beastmen, and the chariots do have some decent armor values at 90, so they're going to be able to kind of mitigate a lot of the very, very low armor piercing damage of these Chaos Warhounds with poison. Throwing axes lending a little bit of fire support, but it almost looks like they're throwing at their own hounds, but they're just going after that frontal chariot. And in the back, a little bit of naughty stuff going on. The Shaman Sorcerer does get caught by the Centaurs, who are very fast with 95 speed. He does drop a fireball, but suddenly he's very trapped, and the Mammoth is like, I'm coming, I will rescue you. The big Mammoth's just plodding back here with its 56 speed. Sorcerer's getting very low. I mean, had this Mammoth not come back here, I mean, he probably would have 100% just died here. You can see the bounce power actually shifting shifting in the Beastman's favor here as the Mammoth does come back. He's going to be dropping some hot tusk action, just cleaving the Centaurs, and he is going to be freeing up the Sorcerer. There is maybe an argument to be made that they should have stayed and tried to finish and break the Sorcerer and chase him off, but I understand why they pulled back. In the frontline fight, the big Mammoth is getting down and dirty, but the Centaurs yet again pull in and surround the Chariot, which they're pretty much going to get a free kill on potentially. I mean, they probably killed one of the models there, and the Marauder Chariots do come with 3 in total, if I'm not mistaken. Not quite like the big fat Tomb King Chariot that does come with 9 lives. Wulfric the Wanderer going to be able to run these guys over, but now this is going to be the moment of reckoning. The spears are being pushed forward to intercept the Mammoths, but these guys are going to be coming in just doing a ton of damage, and it is not going to be fun for these Beastmen forces as they are torn to shreds by this giant Norscan beast. Look at him, he's just so jolly up there in the eyes. Yeah, doing a little bit of impact damage, not getting that juicy charge through, although you can see a cleaving attack right there, but they tend to do the most damage when they actually do charge all the way through and just kind of penetrate the ranks. Doesn't kill any models there, but certainly as it starts rampaging through the formations and terror comes into play, the Ungors will probably break pretty quickly. Cygor has been summoned to the back line, going to be helping out the Beastmen forces. Looks like it was summoned a while ago. Fireball coming from downtown on the Sorcerer, going to be going after the enemy caster, which isn't a bad idea. Fireball, of course, does really good damage against lightly armored targets. And in the meantime, the Cygor is actually going to be throwing boulders right into the face of Wulfric, which also isn't a bad idea. But the Mammoths are, not rampaging quite yet. Looks like they're all in relatively good shape. Just kind of ramrodding these infantry, doing a pretty good job. I mean, a lot of juicy targets here. The Centaurs with throwing axes are going to be returning. The Feral Mammoth actually did a really good job screening them. And, my one concern for the Beastmen is that this army just has so much HP, but there are a lot of spears. And now becomes an issue. The Feral Mammoth, of course, have very low melee defense. Even the Bestigors, who aren't designed against such units, can start doing some good work. And this guy's going to be getting shanked. And the problem is they're fighting very close to the edge of the map. So if this guy's 25 leadership breaks any further, he could easily just walk off the edge of the map, and that would be disastrous for Norsca. In the front line, this Mammoth is also doing pretty good against the Bestigors right here. And yeah, they're certainly having trouble. Great open units always struggle against big monsters in general. And also the Marauders are going to be coming in. So the Marauders going to distract some of the chaff. But the Chaos Spawn Summon being used pretty effectively right here. So he does use the Chaos Spawn Summon behind the Marauders. He's probably going to be able to break those. And the Chaos Spawn should be able to do some pretty good work against the Feral Mammoths. So far, we have a pretty even battle. This Mammoth is very low. This one's getting a little bit beat up. This one's healthy. And of course, Wulfric is just running shot wherever he is. The armor on his Mammoth is going to be very helpful. 70 compared to, I believe, 30 on the standard Feral Mammoth. So this guy's in a little bit of trouble. Very low leadership coming into play here. He's wavering. He might potentially break off here. It looks like right here, the Norscan player is going to be trying to charge the Cygor in the back, which isn't a bad idea. Get away from this horde of infantry. But when he gets the rear charge coming in, and doesn't look like it knocks him over, but he does make contact. Does not look like he made contact. Feral Mammoth probably actually going to break right now. Negative 14 leadership goes back up to 14. This is a very dicey situation for Norsca. You can see the bounce power is slightly pulling in the favor of the Beastmen. The Chaos Spawn Summons doing a very good job, but that's not to say that there is a bit of false inflation here for the Beastmen. There's Chaos Spawn Summons, there's 2 in total, which of course are giving them a lot of stopping power. Wherever the Chaos Spawn are going, they're using their poison, their high DPS, 130 weapon strength to just chew through the HP of these Feral Mammoths. But on that same note, Big Daddy Wulfric's kind of holding on pretty firm. If he can finish off the Centaurs with throwing axes, I think he might have a pretty good chance of just ramshackling these infantry because all the high mass units are pretty much disappearing. Chaos Spawn here are almost gone, 10 Chaos Spawn right here, and then also we have a Cygor in the back, yeah, who's pretty much almost gone as well. Some Marauders have gotten back there, which are going to kind of speed his death along as he does only have 300 HP. But very, very close fight. Right now you can see the Norscans, I mean, it's certainly teetering heavily in the favor of the Beastmen, but don't underestimate the Mammoths. I mean, the Norscans could potentially rally here, and Big Daddy Wulfric, once these high mass units are gone, if he's able to rally at least one other Mammoth, they could have a really scary kind of a, I wouldn't say death ball, but furry ball, tusk ball. We'll just call it a tusk ball for now. I think that'll work just fine. So, this bad boy is shaken. He does have 19 leadership. Wulfric's getting a little bit tattered. He does have the Haggard pirate ship as well, I think. Oh no, it looks like it was actually cut. So I think he cut the pirate ship just to get as many mammoths as he could, just going as wide as possible. A little bit of a mistake, definitely would have kept that, but regardless, you can see Wulfric's going to be coming in here. I don't know, if Norsca can come back from this, that would be pretty ludicrous. Marauders here, a bunch of Bestigors coming in. This is actually my first time watching this game, so bear with me here, guys. I don't know the outcome either. Wulfric the Wanderer here is shaken. He does have 17 leadership, and the Bray Shaman, oh, he's going in just deep, though. And maybe he's doing this to kind of allow his other forces to rally. But the one thing that could happen is the Beastmen are very blobbed up, and the Mammoths have massive impact when they charge in. Oh, but Wulfric's actually broken. That's pretty disastrous here. We're going to see if Big Daddy Wulfric can keep fighting. The Beastmen forces are just chewing through it. -7, -10 leadership. Wulfric might be able to rally at the edge of the map if he's lucky. Depends on which direction he goes. But the Feral Mammoth's coming in. The other one's coming in. Just straight up Ice Age coming in right now. We got some Marauders as well, which could potentially be helpful to allow the Mammoths to generate a little bit more value. And also, once the frenzy is gone from the Vestigors, they are going to lose that immunity to psychology. So a big old mammoth charge coming in here, just doing huge work. And oh my goodness, just a meat grinder as this mammoth comes in here and just shreks all of these different units. Wolfric, of course, in the back doing his thing. But man, Morker the Shadowgave's still full health, guys. It's going to be really tough to come back with him so healthy. But the Feral Mammoth's starting to actually break the infantry. The Ungors are terrified. The Vestigors right here are getting terrified. A lot of the Beastmen forces are actually starting to have some trouble. Oh no, that is so bad for the Beastmen. Wolfric the Wanderer rallies right at the edge of the map. He still has 1,000 HP, and suddenly the bounce power is coming back in the favor of Gundabad and Norsca. Just what an insane game here. And the caster is actually broken as well, so the Mammoths were able to kill the Brave Shaman, not kill him, but drive him off. He's at negative 28. He might shatter, but it looks like he's just going to be broken for now. And the bounce of power, somehow, some way, is back in the favor of Norsca. I cannot believe this. Absolutely insane game from this mad lad right here. The Feral Mammoth coming in 1,700 HP on this guy. You can see 3,434 on this guy. And it looks like this Mammoth is kind of just destroying Morker the Shadowgave. I mean, I wouldn't expect this, but I guess it does have a bonus for its infantry, which is going to compensate for its low stats here. Morker, of course, is infantry size. And Morker is just being manhandled by this Mammoth. Wolfric, of course, on a bit of an extended vacation, probably going to be coming back in a moment. He's like, yeah, my Mammoth's got this. And suddenly, a mass rout for the Beastmen forces, and it looks like there might be a Cygor summon coming in. That could actually pull the bounce power back. The Cygor could get some really good boulders and actually push Wolfric off the battlefield, or the other Feral Mammoth. But wow, what a dumpstering. I cannot believe this Feral Mammoth was able to finish off Morker the Shadowgave. And I don't mean in regard to the whole game. I just mean in regard to this Feral Mammoth just beating down Morker right here. I mean, the Beastmen player did a really good job considering like his army composition against all these Mammoths, but god damn, I can't believe that Feral Mammoth just beat Morker so badly. And suddenly the Cygor stands alone. I mean, there's not going to be any Rohirrim coming to save him. He is alone. He's got some, well, I guess metaphorically, there's some Centaurs. They don't count. There's only 8 of them. But this Cygor, it looks like this Mammoth just shatters on the charge. So, of course, the poor leadership playing into effect here. The other Mammoth's going to be coming in here, but the Cygor, of course, is, pretty powerful against other monsters. I mean, he does have 400 weapon strength, 44 melee attack. But it looks like there's some Marauders as well, and the Marauders, I think, are really going to be the difference maker. Oh, and he gets knocked over by the Feral Mammoth. That is absolutely insane, as this guy's going to be going down here. Wolfric the Wanderer coming back, and I think once Wolfric gets in there, provides some encouragement to all these different units. The Beastmen are just shattering across the board. You can see here in the back, the Brave Shaman is gone. The Vestigor herds are all pretty much gone. There's a couple over here, but they're not really going to make a difference. This Mammoth is coming back, and I really thought, I mean, the bounce of power was literally like back here, one of the furthest I've seen in quite some time, but somehow these Feral Mammoths were able to rally, and they're just such a good unit. I was actually playing against King of the Dead the other day, and we had a game where like the Feral Mammoths were able to just beat the brakes off Kolek, like in numbers, of course, but it was really crazy. I mean, just seeing how powerful those units are. Definitely one of the better units it would appear on the Norscan roster, in conjunction with the Famir and yeah, all those goodies over there. So very well played to Gundabad 1 as well as Artemis Barca. That was an insanely well played game by both players. Super fun to watch. And also, guys, Gundabad 1 sent me this replay. So he actually has a YouTube channel. I believe he just got started relatively recently, but it looks like he's putting up a lot of Warhammer quick battles. So if you guys are interested, please check out the link in the comment section below and check out his videos. Hopefully he does a lot of fun builds like this, but it looks like the dreaded Quad Mammoth build matching the ferocity of the dreaded Quad Corpse build and bringing the fury to the Beastmen. But yeah, it was a very best score heavy army, which would have done probably, pretty good against like Marauder champions. Marauders with great weapons might have performed pretty well against Famir, actually, with the just straight AP plus throwing axes. But yeah, against like that sort of monstrous play, I don't think he had enough true anti-large. The Chaos Spawn almost saved him, almost won him the game. It was down to the wire. That was insane. Maybe if a couple tactical decisions had been made to chase something off the battlefield, it could have been different, but yeah, who knows. So very well played to Gundabad. Make sure to check out his channel if you guys are interested, and very well played to Artemis Barca. It was a super great game by both players. So have an excellent night, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. We will see you guys next time. Take care.